This is a feeder I decided to pick up. I did find it on Amazon. But I had two old feeders from the old hen house from years ago. But they had rusted in the bottom, and I considered cleaning them up, painting them and all that stuff. But you know, I decided back then I kept the food inside their coop, which was a lot bigger building, because I did not have a covered area in the run. That's the reason I decided to put the food out here, is because I did have a protected area, and so far when it rains this does not get wet in this area. So far it's been working fine, but this particular feeder is supposed to be a no waste feeder, that they're supposed to reach their heads in there and eat and not drag any out and waste it. But I found that they were doing that. They were using their beak and just scraping out, throwing it on the ground and not eating it. So I added this little plastic piece on here, and this lip was not on here. I added that, and that helped a little bit, but then I found that they were still reaching in with their beak and dragging the stuff out. And it makes me mad, because I'm paying for that and then they won't eat it off the ground. Even if I pick the feeder up and force them to eat that off the ground, they just scream at me like, "Mom, feed us, feed us, feed us, feed us." They'll eat a little bit of it. But anyway, I decided to fashion a something to hopefully catch what they're throwing out. I'm hoping I have it wide enough. I've got to recenter this. This is not quite done right, but I'm hoping as they drag it out, it hits inside here and then goes down into what is a dog bowl down here, and either eat out of that dog bowl, or I can pick that back up and dump it inside the feeder. That's the plan. That's what I'm hoping will help. And the reason I didn't go with just a bucket underneath or a pan to catch it is because I wanted it, this is how I wanted it. I wanted a hole where it goes into something else to collect it, and I wanted to make it where it was on a slant. With the bucket, if I had something like a shallow pan, like even like a cat litter pan, if I had that under there, I know they'd stand on it and they would flip it up. They would knock the feeder around, and I just know how they are. This is connected to a 2x4 on the back that's got it kind of jacked up, which should keep it heavy enough. If they do stand on the front, it shouldn't go anywhere. I went ahead and put this here to see if maybe keep them from standing on that. I don't think they need to stand on that. But anyway, this is what I've come up with. It's kind of janky. Actually, I'm kind of laughing because, and I could have cleaned it up, but this board, I did not cut this hole. It was already in it. This board was a lot bigger, and it came from my parents' house when the tree fell on their garage. That back corner had on the soffit, it had a light, a corner light. And this is where the junction box was. So this was like one of the original boards from the house. And I picked it up. And the people that were fixing the house, I was picking up things that they were throwing away just because I knew I could use it. And so this is what I've used this for. I've cut it down and used, like I said, it was a pretty large piece. And I've cut down and used various pieces with other little projects around here. But it was like an original piece of my parents' house here with a crazy junction box hole in it. And like I said, I could have cleaned that up, but I decided I'd just leave it just like it was. We'll see how this works. I know that was a lot of rambling for that one little item, but I'm really hoping it's going to work out. I'm going to have to recenter. I got to move that over to the right a little bit because I didn't realize that thing was not hanging perfectly straight. But I'll get that fixed up, and we'll get an update when I find out how it works. They love all these little logs and things I put out here. I was was looking to see if Morticia was going to drag some of that food out. You know, I'm sure that little catching thing I made, catching tray, won't catch everything, especially if they get violent when they throw it around. But I think it's going to help a lot. And catch most of it anyway, which is, I just don't want to, I just hate waste. She's not throwing anything out, she's just eating. It's a popular dog. Well, it's been a little over a week that I've had this contraption out here with their feeder to hopefully try to catch waste, to keep the food from getting wasted on the ground, and I am so tickled, y'all. I just wasn't sure that this was going to actually do it, but it actually is. It's catching anything that they throw out, and then they end up picking it, because not a whole lot's going down in here, but I have seen them as it falls. They would see it down here and they would go ahead and eat this. Some of it does go down in here, and then I'll see them eating it out of there. So I haven't even had to dump this back into the container here. I am just thoroughly pleased with this. Wow, this is great. I mean, this wouldn't work for all feeders, but it certainly worked for this one, the way this one is made. I've got it put on a, I've got a 2x4 screw to the back to jack the back end of it up so that it's slanted and the stuff rolls down. But I think they're pretty much cleaning it up as it falls out instead of hitting the ground, because then they ignore it once it's on the ground in the dirt. Anyway, I am just glad that this worked out. It's kind of jankily put together. It's not my best work, but I'm not too worried about it. It's painted up really well and should withstand the elements. It doesn't really rain on it right here because it's got the cover above it, and with this plastic back here, it keeps it from raining in from behind. So anyway, I am just pleased to update this actually works. Alright, y'all, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you'd do so, and give this video a thumbs up. We'll see you later. Stay wild.